Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video I'm going to go over with you 5 reasons why the price of everything, especially food, is going to continue to go up. It's easy for someone to sit here and say, yeah, the price of everything is going to continue to go up because of inflation. That's only one of the things, ladies and gentlemen. But there are several reasons, and I've stated in the past that we're going to come to a point where all of these things are going to climax, and it's going to be like the perfect storm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so if you're not preparing, if you just come across this video for the first time or this channel for the first time, try to stay through the end, because the last reason of why things are going to continue to go up in price is probably the most important reason there is, ladies and gentlemen. So let me go ahead and start it off and go over this with you. The first one, as you can see right here, is extreme weather. Now, all of these articles are not necessarily from a week ago or anything like that. This one here specifically is from August 13th of last year of 2021, but it still stands true. Take a look at what's going around in the world as far as weather and as far as how it has affected crops throughout the world, not just here in the US, but throughout the world. These weather events, ladies and gentlemen, are going to continue to intensify. And they're not going to be of the same type everywhere, meaning that you're not going to have droughts all over the world. You're going to have droughts in some parts of the world. You're going to have floods in other parts of the world. You're going to have freezing events like they did in Brazil with their coffee harvest this last year that resulted in a 3 million bag deficit of coffee for last year's harvest. You're going to have different occurrences going on throughout the world. You're going to have tsunamis just like the one that happened. Not a large one, but still one that affected several countries. You're going to have volcanoes going off. Weather events are going to become more erratic and more substantial in how we can produce food and grow food. So that's one of the reasons why you need to be stocking up, because weather events are going to continue to intensify. You want to call it for whatever reason you want to call it. Some people are like, it's because of global warming. Some people are, it's the grand solar minimum. Some people are, it's because we're polluting our world. It doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to a point where the finger pointing does not matter anymore. We are here. We are at a point where this is going to start getting progressively worse. If you think it's been getting progressively worse up to now, you're right. But it's going to continue and it's going to intensify as well. Now, the second reason may be a temporary reason. I don't know. It depends on how far these draconian measures that are being instituted by governments go. But there is a shortage of workers throughout the world. And if there is a shortage of workers, what happens? You have to pay more. If you're a restaurant owner or a supermarket owner or an owner of whatever type of business, if you have a shortage of workers, what do you have to do? You have to pay more in order to attract those workers that are in the workforce. And when you pay more as a boss, when you pay more as a business owner, how do you recoup those funds? You all know, it's common sense. Someone does not want to work for their present wage, and they won't. The only way to remedy that situation is by giving a bigger wage and or bigger benefits, which is part of your wage as well. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is not something that I see going away anytime soon. And why is that? Because the destruction of our economy, the destruction of the dollar is in full force right now. And with the destruction of the dollar comes what? Less wages. What do I mean by that? You may be earning more in nominal terms. So instead of making $15 an hour, you may be making $20 an hour. But that $20 an hour is going to get you less than what that $15 an hour you were making 2 years ago did. So really, you're actually making less because your labor is being valued at less due to the prices of everything going up. So the labor shortage, ladies and gentlemen, that we're having, for whatever reason it may be, is going to continue to affect the prices of everything, not just food, but of everything going up. And we just talked about inflation. Ladies and gentlemen, even though we had big wage hikes this last year, inflation has pretty much erased all of it. I do believe that the increase in Social Security this year going into 2022, I think is 5%. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, if it was 5.6%, but I think it's about 5%. Well, a 5% raise in your Social Security benefits is pretty much worthless when inflation is pegged at 7.1%, which means that you're already below. Well, this article here says that the average worker, inflation gave the average worker a 2.4% pay cut, meaning that you may be getting paid more in dollars, as we spoke before, but those dollars that you're getting paid are worth less because inflation has gone up, meaning the price of everything, the price of living has gone up. So because of inflation, ladies and gentlemen, and the continued inflationary forces that are being put forth onto our economy by the decisions that our policymakers make, things are going to continue to go up in price. And here is another source that shows that inflation is just ravaging the market as far as how much you can get for your dollars. Look at this. Here from 2020 December to 2021 December, meats went up almost 15%, eggs 11%, oils 8%. And I would contest that these numbers are not even close to what they really are. Because when I go to the store, and if you saw that video that I did when I went to Costco to check prices, remember the oil that I showed you that was $14.99? That exact same oil 6 months earlier was like $8 and change. That's a lot more than 11%, ladies and gentlemen. But it's not just the oil that we buy at the supermarket that we bring home to cook with. It's the oil that is used everywhere, in restaurants, in manufacturing to make whatever it is that we buy at the supermarket. It's everywhere. So this 11% rise or 8% rise in oils, I think that is understated, as well as the meats and eggs. Maybe the eggs are a little closer, but the meats are definitely higher than 14%. And you will notice one thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the things that the policymakers love to do when they're figuring for inflation. If you notice, probably for about the last year or so, whenever I've done a video for Costco and I've shown you the prices of meats, you've noticed that the ground beef pretty much has stayed at the same price. Ladies and gentlemen, it's because they use the price of that ground beef as the price for meats. They use the cheapest price that they can for that specific meat, in this case beef. They leave that price the same pretty much, or they only elevate it a little bit. If you all remember, about a year ago, that same ground beef was $3.99. And now it's $4.49. That's a 50% increase, which comes out to about around 14% is what it comes out to. So you'll notice that they use the cheapest meats when they're figuring out meats. And that's why I believe that the ground beef hasn't really gone up in price as much as everything else. But here we have fish and seafood, 8%. All grocery items combined, I believe, is very understated at 6.5%. Now let me go ahead and show you why it is that I think that not only are these forces that we just discussed are going to make the prices of things continue to go up, but this, ladies and gentlemen, is somewhat alarming, and I think that it's going to get worse. A while back, I spoke about the price of oil, and that I thought that by the end of 2022, it would be close to $200 per barrel. And here we are on our way. Here it says oil soars to 7-year high as Goldman sees Brent hitting $105 per barrel in 2023. I think it's going to be a lot higher than $105 per barrel, ladies and gentlemen. I think it'll be a lot higher than 105. Hopefully I'm wrong and it's only 105. But right now oil is sitting at about $87 per barrel. And here just a couple of months ago it was in the low 60s. I mean, that's about a 25% increase in just the last month and a half or two. Let's take a quick look at this chart, ladies and gentlemen. This goes all the way back to 2006 right here. Now, as you can see, around 2000 and what is this, 8 or 9? Around 2008 September, oil hit a high of about $146 per barrel. Now, what I'm looking at here, I'm not a technical analyst, like a professional, but what I'm looking at here is a very, very easy indicator to take a look at to determine whether oil is in a bear market or in a bull market. And if you take a look at these lines, there's your 200-day moving average. And oil is currently a full candle above the 200-day moving average. It broke it, all right? It broke it, but now it's a full candle above the 200-day moving average, and that's on a monthly chart. This is a monthly chart, meaning that every one of these candles is equivalent to 1 month's time. We are above the 200-day moving average, and we are not slowing down. That tells me that oil is in a bull market. Now, I could be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a professional analyst, but just through my amateur eyes, it tells me that oil is going to continue to go up. Every time that oil starts coming down, you'll notice that something big happens. Either we have a refinery fire, or now I believe that one of the OPEC nation oil producers was attacked by some other country or something like that. But every time that oil seems to go down, something happens to bring it up. And that's because without oil, ladies and gentlemen, the market is dead. Without oil, the market is dead. So oil prices have to continually go up. And looking at this, it tells me that it's going to continue to go up for the remainder of this year, if not for the near future, meaning the next 2-3 years, if not more. And ladies and gentlemen, with the way that things are going now geopolitically, with the way that things are going here in the United States, with a lot of our oil production being shut down, oil is going to continue to go up. We are pretty much at the behest of oil manufacturers now, because we went from a nation that was able to produce all of the oil that it needed to consume on a daily basis to a nation that now relies on imports. And for people that don't understand how important oil is to us, you really need to look up and see how many things oil is used for. It's used for everything. You would not be able to be watching this video right now on your computer or your phone or your personal device if it wasn't for oil. There's not really one thing that I can think of that doesn't require oil. Even lumber requires oil, because the machines that produce the lumber, that mill the lumber, need oil, either to run properly or either to get the energy from that fuel that came from oil. Oil, ladies and gentlemen, is going to continue to go up. And the more that it goes up, the more that it's going to affect everything, and it's just going to roll over on each other. And why is that? Let's say oil goes up and gasoline goes up. If gasoline goes up, guess what? Or diesel goes up, guess what? It's going to cost more to transport those foods. It's going to cost more to make the packaging that those foods are in. All right? People that drive a truck for a living usually have a mortgage on that truck on credit. When they put fuel into their truck, guess what happens? They put that on credit. So not only are we going to pay more because the price of fuel is going up, but the credit compounds what that person has to pay. The person that put it on their credit card, the business that put that on their credit card. This economy runs on credit, ladies and gentlemen. So if oil goes up 25%, we're going to end up paying more than 25% for the end item. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me leave it off with this. I'm going to show you something here that ought to convince you that prices are not coming down. They are going to continually go up. And this is why I say this. I believe that our economy is being imploded on purpose. I believe that our economy is being destroyed on purpose. All right, ladies and gentlemen? And the reason I say that is this. A lot of our own oil production has been shut down. Why? They use the premise that it's to save the environment. We're shutting down these oil pipelines and we're producing a lot less oil now to save the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, in my understanding, that's a lie. The way I understand it, that is a lie. It's not to save the environment. It's in order to implode our economy. Because if we are not energy independent, we're going to depend on others for those things. It's just like we are dependent on China to get all of our little plastic gadgets and microchips and all these things, right? Because we don't make those things here ourselves. But if we are not dependent in making our own oil like we used to be, we're going to have to rely on someone else. So my question to you is this. Let me show you this real quick. Now this is just a small chart that shows the consumption of everything that we use that has to do with oil, as far as liquids, as far as gasoline, let's see, distillate fuel oils, hydrocarbon gas liquids, jet fuel, all that kind of stuff, right? So if you take a look up here, let me see if I can show you the date. If you take a look at this date, this is 2021 and this is 2020. We're going to go ahead and show you 2021, all right, which is when they started shutting everything down as far as oil goes. We used a total of 19.75 million barrels per day in 2021, which is when they started shutting everything down. In 2020, we had only used 18.19 million barrels a day. In 2020, we used 19.75, right? So even when we shut down our production, even when we were told, nope, you can't produce as much oil as you were producing before, you can no longer be energy independent, we're still using more. We're still using more. So what does that tell you? It just tells you that we're giving away our power to someone else. We're allowing someone else to dictate what we are going to be paying for oil or oil byproducts in the future. Look at this here, 2022. So far, it is estimated that during 2022, we're going to use even more, 20.59 million barrels per day. So if they did this in order to save the environment, then why is it causing us to use even more? Because we were going to use more anyways, whether we produced it or not, ladies and gentlemen. And trust me, I'm not a PhD. They have PhDs and they know this. We were going to use the same amount anyways. The thing is that now we are at the behest of those that produce it because we have to import it. So if you get anything out of this video, it's this. The government doesn't care about you. So you better prepare. The price of everything is going to continue to go up. Especially now that we cannot produce our own oil. Now that we cannot produce our own oil, the price of everything is going to go up. And all of those forces that I talked about in the beginning, because of the weather, because of inflation, because of wages, all of those things are also going to go into play as far as how much things cost. But I think that the largest factor is going to be oil. Now that we cannot produce our own oil, we will have to pay the price that it's being asked for in the open market. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope you got something out of this. Probably a kind of a pretty boring video. I do have a lot of things to review. I have to go pick a whole bunch of stuff up from the post office. I've been waiting on them. I have a whole bunch of things to review. So get ready for a few review videos. I got some things that I think are pretty interesting and some things that I was surprised to get that are pretty awesome. All right, so stand by for that. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Having said that, remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place. You know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.